What is up, and welcome to Ask DLF, where the goal of the show is to answer all of your fantasy football questions, help you dominate your dynasty leagues. I am Cal. You can find me at Calvin and Hobby on Twitter. This is Tyler, of course, right here to my left. Let's see if I can point. There we go. He's right there. Tyler, how are you today?
Well, I am actually absolutely great today. Today is it's honestly the best day of my entire life.
I love it. There you go. You can find him at Tyler FF Creator on Twitter. And then the third member of our trio today, honestly, when I first started following his account, I thought he just tweeted about movies because he kept talking about Hollywood. He is Akash at YZR_fantasy. You know him. You love him. What's up, Akash? How are you?
Thanks for having me, y'all.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here. Lots of things to talk about. Hopefully you guys had a great Memorial Day. All of you guys that are listening, hopefully you hung out with your loved ones instead of arguing with strangers about Trey Lance online like I did. Today's episode is brought to you by DynastyFootball.com, and there's nothing better than a DLF Premium subscription, except when you can bundle it with Betsperts and get four Betsperts, Fantasy Life, and DLF for just $99 a year. Full access to all 4 sites.
And I give Betsperts an A+ for supporting this show. A+ for support.
Big fans.
And I'm a tough grader.
Big fans of this show. Also, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right here. Look down below. If it's red, you have not subscribed yet, and you need to. You're missing out on great content from Addison and others who are just killing it right now. Justin's also contributing here with solo videos, lots of great things. And you know what I love? There's lots of really good debate, even in the YouTube comments sometimes. And it's not bad debate. Like, there's really been some good debate, kind of like what you see here in our live chat, which you can use to make sure that you are asking us questions like we're going to do today. There's a lot that happened over the course of last week since the last time we talked. There's a suspension potentially looming here for Deshaun Watson. Baker maybe not going anywhere. Browns giving Njoku all the money. Najee Harris is up to 244 pounds. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Pat Mahomes told reporters basically he doesn't know who he's going to throw to either. Jameis Winston is walking with a noticeable limp, everybody is saying. And Chris Olave is apparently Marvin Harrison. Antonio Brown saying he's not going to play, which nobody really wanted you to anyway, Antonio. Sorry. But yeah, go ahead, get out there. So lots to talk about. But we are not going to talk about any of those things just because we have to. We're going to talk about things that you want us to talk about. Here we go. If you have a question, you ask it, just like Silence of the Lamb, getting us off to a hot start with some CEH
Over an hour
talk.
early. An hour early.
There you go. Since CEH is in this week's photo, I might as well ask a question about him. CEH or a 2023 second and 2023 third 12-team Superflex. Tyler, what do we think?
So let's just review the facts of what happened this week. So Addison did a very bad thing. He did a bad thing on Twitter. He tricked the people. He posted misleading stats to try to trick the people into picking Clyde Edwards-Helaire over DeAndre Swift. And that was a big mistake because that would encourage people that they should buy in on failure. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that because if we buy in on failure, then we start a habit of failure. So I won't even pay this for CEH because I just feel like at the end of the year, I'm going to be left with nothing. I'm going to be left with nothing when CEH is as bad as he was last year. He's terrible. I mean, every time he steps on the field, the team takes a step back. They would be better off if they just never ran the ball, never gave him any carries at all, and just put him on the bench where I think he belongs. I think that would improve their prospects. So I'm not going to do this. So I'll just take the picks and then come what may, I suppose. But yeah, I don't want CEH. He's, as much as Addison's stats may have misled you to that conclusion on Twitter. I love you, Addison. I won't back down from hating CEH. I would not buy in on CEH, and we know that I feel that way.
Akash, can we get to a place where he's Clyde Edwards Savier instead of failure? Which one?
That was pretty bad, but
that was bad. Yeah,
that was really bad. I'm a dad.
It tricked me too because it wasn't. I voted for Edwards-Helaire not knowing because I didn't know who the players were. I just took the one with more yards and more opportunities. And then I asked, like, okay, I'll take the one who gets more receiving. Who's because like, can you show us which how much receiving opportunities and receiving yards is for each player? And he's like, no, that would ruin the game. And I'm like, screw it. I'll just take whatever player's target share is higher, and that would be Swift. So can't trick me, Addison. Sorry, but for that price for Edwards-Helaire, I'll probably pay that. It's a fine price. Like, I like 23 seconds because it's a good class, and you're probably going to see some really good receivers fall there because running backs, quarterbacks typically will go first. But that's a fine price because Edwards-Helaire probably gets decent volume, even if he isn't going to be a world beater. Like, I know, Tyler, that you hate him, and you also hate Rojo. And I know what you're saying.
Rojo's a new level of failure. Rojo is even worse.
What's going to happen if you put Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the bench? If you're
actually, I think they should not run the ball. They should not run the ball. I think they would be improved.
Every team should try to pass more because running the ball is way less.
I agree with that. I mean, we know that I agree with that.
Right, because running the ball just.
We know that I love Brandon Staley.
But they're not going to. They're going to still run the ball.
Maybe they will. I mean, they have Patrick Mahomes. Maybe that will encourage them to pass the ball more. I mean, they have the quarterback to do it.
They haven't passed
Juju,
but
no, I don't think they're going to throw it to Juju very much because Juju is never open. He's never. I can tell by the look on Cal's face. He's already upset that he did this, but it's too late. He already did it. No, Juju is never open. We want to pass the ball to players who are open. Players who are open, that's where we want to throw the ball. So we don't want to throw the ball to Juju because he's always covered because he's so slow. He never gets open. He's moving at a snail's pace. Maybe in 2018 he could move around the field. Seems like he could then. 2018, I have news for you, was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, and since then he's looked like crap every year, like crap. So I don't want to throw the ball to him. That I would not do, and I would not be surprised if Marquez Valdes-Scantling outproduces Juju Smith-Schuster this year. Why wouldn't he? He was paid over triple, quadruple the amount. So, clearly the Chiefs were more interested in giving him money. They gave Juju nothing. So I would, I would not rely on Juju. I do think Sky Moore is going to have a bigger impact in year one, though, than people expect.
Moving on. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Try not to follow the money because it doesn't really work that much.
I think it does, though.
You end up
I disagree.
Over Jacoby Myers or something, but.
Well, I never liked Nelson Aguilar, so no amount of money they gave Nelson Aguilar could convince me.
But did you ever like Marquez Valdes-Scantling?
Not really, but I never liked Juju either. So
the money that they gave Marquez Valdes-Scantling convinced you on him over Juju. As bad as Juju has been relative to expectations, Marquez Valdes-Scantling has been nowhere in the realm of Juju. Even if Juju's been relatively disappointing, he's still been a top 24 receiver a couple of times.
Sure,
but Marquez Valdes-Scantling's barely been fantasy relevant at all.
But then why is I agree with that, but why is the ADP gap so large? I feel like people are overconfident that it's just going to be Juju again for no reason.
It should be. He's been the productive fantasy football receiver.
That was on a different team.
Scanlon offers something that to NFL.
Now we're on a new team. It was on a different team before. If it were the same team, I would be more likely to agree with it. But it's on a different team. Both players are now on a new team, so I'm not as confident that it's just going to carry over to the new team when that new team did not want him. They paid him a little bit just because take this, a little incentive late in contract. You can come here. He was not a priority. If he was a priority, he would have been paid a lot more. So I don't see it as a guarantee that it's going to carry over to the new team. Who knows how it's going to go here?
MVS offers things.
MVS sucks. We know that I don't like MVS either.
To NFL teams, but that doesn't matter for fantasy, so it makes sense.
No, I understand that. I just think that it's clear that the NFL thinks that Juju is not it. Why hasn't he had any interest in free agency? It was 2 years. 2 years of free agency, but nobody wanted him. Why did nobody want him? Usually I find that when there's a sign like this, when it's obvious that there's a sign that nobody wants him, that should try to tell you something that maybe there's something there. Maybe there's some injury, some loss of effectiveness. I mean, the route tree certainly shows that he has had a loss of effectiveness. He's never been the same since his 2018 season. So I don't know. I mean, I agree with the floor being lower for Juju relative to what it was before, but I don't think I would go so far as to put him lower than MVS in terms of. Well, I don't have him lower than MVS. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't if that's what happened. I wouldn't be stunned. It wouldn't be mind blowing. It wouldn't Shock me.
All right.
I
That's
love
all.
it. If only there was a running back on this team that had a 78th percentile college target share named Clyde Edwards-Helaire that was on this team that
But
could
they don't throw to him.
do some
They
work.
don't throw to him in the NFL. Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders were used a lot in the passing game in college, and then boom, NFL, no passing game usage. I don't know why, but that's what happened.
They're
Eric
not
Lyman,
great, to be fair, in their receiving game. They get okay volume. I feel like RB receiving usage is partly player, but also a lot of the quarterback in this scheme. Like that's been
And
it's
trust.
B Roto Fantasy has found that it matters. Like the situation matters more for receiving for running backs and less for wide receiver, tight end. So
I agree with that.
I think that they
I
haven't
agree with
been
that.
a receiver so far, like to the extent that he was in college. It doesn't matter.
They
You
also
guys are
care
gonna
more
present
about pass
a-
blocking in the NFL than they do
you
in
guys are
college.
going to present a challenge for me moving the show forward at times.
Oh, yeah,
today.
no,
I can
not-
already
with-
tell.
As long as
I'm
we can
doing
move
today.
past,
So I'm gonna-
I think we'll be okay.
I'm gonna just go past this Clyde Edwards-Helaire Juju talk and just Eric's question here about. I was going to ask him this actually, regardless today when the due date was June 6th, which means this baby is going to be due before we are back, or maybe is it on the day that we're back? Is that
Day before.
day before?
Yeah.
So, Eric, I wish you well and congratulate you on the birth of your kid. So this is he asked me for wisdom here. Akash, I don't know if you have anything you would like to share here. My biggest thing is, Eric, the fact that you ask these questions tells me you're going to be a great dad. And my advice is just trust yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're not going to be perfect. But the fact that you care tells me, care enough to ask these kind of questions tells me that you are going to be great at it. And, you know, I'm excited to hear about, I feel like this baby is a part of the show and a part of our life. And we need to see pictures. Like we need to see pictures and need to hear how everything was. So appreciate those questions. This is the first time in a long time I did not do Murph. My plan was to break it up as little as possible for this year, but I was not able to do it. So,
Also, just because it's going to make no sense if I bring it up later. Sound about right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Love
All
it.
right, go ahead.
Also, for both folks not named Tyler, named one player who Tyler probably thinks is an infestation of failure. I think we both can say Marquise Brown.
Oh yeah,
Who said I don't hate
no,
Hollywood
he's back on
Brown at all?
Marquise Brown because the situation changed.
Yeah, I don't hate Hollywood Brown at all. I never hate Hollywood
I
Brown.
sold him, guys. I did it. We won.
That's a big lie. That's a big lie. But try to come up with an actual player that you guys like that I don't like.
I'll always be an Evan Ingram apologist.
Evan Ingram. Oh yes, Evan Ingram. He is really bad, really really bad. So I hate him.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of where you even are on Trey Lance, since I argue with so many people about him.
I think I was lower now that I've seen the new ADP and the concerns around him. Now I think I'm higher. I just never moved. So I think I haven't changed, but I think the market has moved from above me to below me. So
What's
I
your
don't
concern on him?
Well, I don't really have any concern. I mean, my concern is that he hasn't done anything. Like he didn't do anything. I mean, if he was really that great, he would have gotten on the field this rookie year. If he was so good, he would have gotten on the field. So that is a concern, but I don't have any additional concerns. I haven't moved him down more since the offseason started, like some have done. I have not. I fully believe that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be gone. I think that that's held up for other reasons. I don't buy the smoke about Trey Lance not being ready. I just don't buy it. So I really haven't moved my opinion on Trey Lance since January. To me, nothing's changed. The same concern is the one that I mentioned at the top and that I've had the whole time. So yeah, I mean, nothing to me has changed, but the market seems to have moved. So I guess I was selling before and I'm buying now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes didn't see the field the first year.
Yeah, I mean,
He's also
it's not
last year.
perfect.
Week 17.
I do think that there's a big difference to me between someone that was traded up for, picked third, versus someone who was picked 10th or
He was
11th. Oh, I
third.
forget what was Mahomes.
He was 10.
10th. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's a big difference to me between those things. A big
There's a
difference.
lot of rookie quarterbacks who don't see the field. I don't think we can like assume rational coaching.
I also think that 2017 Alex Smith is significantly better than 2021 Jimmy Garoppolo. Significantly better.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. Like
I
the
don't
thing
think
with rational
2017
coaching, because there's no way that Lance can get on the field if they want to keep Jimmy. It's not like if like there's only like a binary thing of whether he's getting on or not. It's not like a wide receiver where they have multiple passes to a role or getting on the field, or a running back where multiple of them play, or a tight end where you sometimes run 2 tight end sets or that kind of thing. But I just feel
Jimmy looked bad at times. I mean, Alex Smith
Yeah,
had a
he's pretty
borderline
he's
Pro
pretty
Bowl season. You're not going to bench someone who's having a Pro Bowl caliber season, but Jimmy did not look good.
he's
So
pretty bad, but Kyle likes him, and that's really all that matters for deciding who's the starter on the team.
I understand that, but that's not a good sign. So
Yeah.
I have a slight concern, but not major. I think people are overblowing how concerned they are, to be honest.
Yeah, because he hasn't been traded, people are panicking as if they're really
Not
gonna
worried
trade
about
him
it.
with the shoulder injury. Yeah,
Not worried.
me neither.
Like Henry says, the legend right here. Make sure you smash that like button. It always wherever Addison is, it makes him happy. Like it doesn't matter what time of day, wherever you are, if you press that like button.
It'll also reduce the time he has to produce fake news.
Richard Davis chimes in a startup draft 10-team Superflex league. What would you trade up to get the 102? I have pick 10.
Well, we're not going to do that. I mean, I can't imagine that I'm going to like it. So, I mean, you can try, but I'm never going to like it. So
I don't know why you would.
I just don't trade up like this.
Yeah, 10-team quarterbacks get devalued just a little bit, but like if people are devaluing quarterbacks because it's a 10-teamer, then it's fine because people already are devaluing top quarterbacks because everyone's trying to trade down now. So trading up's actually become kind of viable.
Have not found that.
Yeah.
Have not found that. I've done
These
so
people are
many
just-
of these
like, this
drafts,
is
and I have
logic.
never done it. Never
This
found the
is
value of
logic,
trading up.
like, even in a 10-team or like when the settings are adjusted, I just don't switch my mentality. Not on purpose, obviously, but like I don't know, I'm just stuck in my ways. So like I don't feel like people would discount Mahomes or Josh Allen or whoever's there at 102 enough that you get a viable trade there. But
Also,
giving 10 and or maybe giving your like 201 and like you know 5th rounder, 4th rounder.
I'm still not going to do that. So I'm never going to do it.
That seems viable to me because like if
But I'm never going to do it. I'm not even going to do that. So if I'm not going to do that,
10
then I'm not going to
is
do it.
Jefferson or something like that.
Yeah,
If I
so I'm
can
still not
get
going to do it.
Jefferson and like a 5th round startup ADP in Superflex to get Mahomes, then I'd do that.
I'm still not doing it. I'm never going to do it, is the short answer.
Yeah.
No.
In 10-team, maybe not because replacement value is a bit higher, so you're getting less wins above replacement with Mahomes compared to Jefferson.
I'm not going to want to move up that far. If I'm going to want to do it, I would move up less if someone falls that I like. But from 10 to 2, I don't. I think I've done this hundreds of times and I've never done it even once. So I literally can't tell you.
I feel like
I don't know.
Lamar or Kyler could slide.
Yeah, exactly.
And if people devalue quarterbacks in a 10-teamer or like if you have to trade up to like 8 to get one of them, then that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying I literally don't think I know what it would cost, what I would accept to trade from 10 to 2 because I've never actually done it.
What would you trade to go from 2 to 10?
Oh, I mean, what would I need to go from 2 to 10? I mean, the first thing I would try would be to get 10 and a 23 first. That I would try. That's what I would try.
Seems reasonable.
I don't know if I would get it, but I would try.
Right. So
Peanut Butter Jelly Time says Happy Taco Tuesday and Waffle Wednesday. Lots of food references there in that sentence. Old Axe says if you have a contending team that will likely make the playoffs, do you consider playoff strength of schedule when looking to make deals? No, right?
No.
Jacob Johnson, Waddle in a 2023 second for Swift and a 24 third and a 10-team, half PPR, no super flex. What do you think?
Half PPR.
I guess I'll
Seems
take.
a little bit down on Swift, but I don't play enough half PPR to know off the top of my head how much the difference is. I guess Waddle because
Yeah, I guess I'll
23
take.
second, I'm probably going to get 23 second could be a really viable
Yeah,
player.
especially in a 10 team.
Oh
It's
yeah,
more likely.
that's even better.
Right.
the range of outcomes on that second is a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll take Waddle. It's close though. It just shows you how big the tier is after the top players.
Yeah.
Yep. How about who would you rather have in Dynasty, Murray or Burrow? Murray feels like the higher upside, where Burrow is a safer pick. I think this is Murray by a landslide.
Murray's a safer pick and the higher upside pick.
Yeah, I
Murray.
agree.
Good.
I think Burrow is just kind of coasting on how great he was in the
Real
playoffs,
life.
and like he's likable. Like he's he's got a cigar sitting on the bench, and people love him. And
he's a pretty good player. It's just that
he's not a bad
without
player.
the production being there like it is for Herbert. Like Herbert's been a lot more productive in fantasy football through 2 seasons. Burrow has been good in real life and has been pretty productive for fantasy, but he hasn't been that productive where I can't take him over Lamar or Kyler, or some people are just not going to do it. The thing I was talking to one of my friends the other day about is not only does rushing help you a lot for increasing the floor and increasing the ceiling for quarterbacks, it also makes the player a safer pick because rushing volume is a lot easier to predict than passing efficiency. Like we know Murray is probably going to be a top rusher next year as among quarterbacks, which is going to translate to fantasy points. But we don't know if Burrow is going to be ultra efficient next year the way that he was last year. We have an idea that he probably will be because he's a good quarterback, but we can't say with as much certainty as we can for Murray's.
It's harder to predict it.
Is your background in statistics?
Me?
Akash? Yeah.
Background? Not really. I mean, I'm a college sophomore right now. I don't really have a background. I just have a bunch of
Okay. But you just love it? Like you just you think in terms of like numbers and probabilities and stuff like that?
Yeah.
I love it. I always love like I feel like there's a part of my brain, maybe not as fully complete as yours in that sense, but like I love the threads that you do and a lot of the insight that you have that like in little things like that. I think I just find that kind of stuff fascinating.
I appreciate it.
Fan football 2023 12-team Superflex. Is Trubisky and Pickett enough for a 2023 first, likely late in a QB needy team?
23
For a
first.
QB needy team, how is your first lightly late? Like I assume you're trading your 23rd first for the quarterbacks, and if you're a
don't do that.
team, how is that 21st likely late? If you
I don't know. Maybe it's not there first.
Maybe, but
I just think you could do better.
yeah, you're not even trading.
Yeah,
I'm taking the 23rd first here.
23 first, easily.
Have 34, 25, 12-team PPR, 2 QB league, 104. Marquise Brown, there we go. 2024 second. 4, Matt Stafford. What do you think? Current QBs are Tom Brady, Ryan Tannehill. There's his wide receivers. What do we think about the value of this trade? 104, Marquise Brown, 2024 second for Matthew Stafford. Tyler, what do you think?
2 QB. I mean, it's Stafford easily. Yeah, easily. It's a 2 QB. I mean, it's not even a super flex. So yeah, no, it's Stafford easily. That's not very close.
I just assume I just lump 2 QB and Superflex the same. Am I doing it wrong?
Maybe to a small degree.
You can start like a random receiver in your Superflex spot if you need it, and then maybe like I started Donovan Peoples-Jones once and he caught 2 lucky touchdowns. So I guess
if you have, it's better to have to start. It's better not to have a 0. I mean, it does matter, but it's not a significant difference.
I'm going to say I don't like this because he's trading for a 3rd quarterback, and I don't like giving up this much for that.
Plus.
Yeah, but he's first. If this is all he has at quarterback, he's short at quarterback. Man, Brady and Tannehill.
Kind of all in. I mean, I like Brady and I like Tannehill. They're both Tom Brady.
But if that's all you have, that's not good enough.
Yeah, if I was gonna trade for a 3rd quarterback, I would I don't know, like just keep trying to like throw stuff at the wall, like a really cheap QB3 amalgamation of Daniel Jones and Jared Goff, or Daniel Jones, Marcus Mariota, and just see what works. Because they rush sometimes, and so they get fantasy points sometimes. And they're not no big quarterbacks, but they're probably gonna be top 60 and top 20 at worst because they rush. So
I don't mind going for Stafford.
My ass for needing a QB3.
I don't mind going for Stafford. I don't mind paying this and just taking the rest of Stafford's career. I'm fine with it, which might sound odd coming from me because it's not usually something I do. But I would definitely do this for Stafford. And then I don't know. I mean, I have Stafford ranked as like QB 12, QB 13. I just did my redraft show on my own channel earlier today. So redraft quarterbacks and tight ends. So we didn't talk too much about Matthew Stafford. He was just kind of there, but I do like him.
Describes him because he's like a relic from a non-rushing era, and he's not like a Brady where he has tremendous passing efficiency. Like he's good, but he was QB 11 in points per game last year. How valuable is he really? It's like expensive Kirk Cousins.
He could definitely do better than he did last year. I mean, Robert Woods got hurt in the middle of the year, and now Allen Robinson is there for, in theory, the whole year. So in theory, he could do better, but I'm not 100% sure that that's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
Benjamin Paul, Devin Singletary, or Algier. I think Algier, is that right? Algier in Atlanta. What do we think?
Singletary.
Singletary by a lot, I think.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are Javian Hawkins themselves into Algier. Like,
yes.
Open running back room, guys. It's going to happen this time. No, I'm not banking on it. Like,
yeah. Meanwhile, they keep adding running backs.
It doesn't make the team. It's possible. Singletary has a role in that team. Both these guys are not very appealing, but I'm taking Singletary.
We talked about Juju a little bit already. Is there a chance that he's a top 24 wide receiver? No. Akash, what do you think the chances
are?
We talked about him. It's all good.
I think we talked about this enough.
You have to say there's a chance, right? Because he's done it before.
There's a chance of a lot of things. Yeah, like there's a chance that there could be 200 more Ask DLFs, or there's a chance this could be the last one. I mean, there's a chance of a lot of things, but I wouldn't say that it's very likely that either of those are the case.
How long would I have to linger on this Juju question for it to be the last one? I'll
be honest that I think it's more likely that there's 200 more than that this is the last one.
By the way, we're coming up on our 1 year of Ask DLF.
True, yeah. I even know the date. Our first show was June 15th.
I'm so excited.
Awesome.
Last year.
Ja Webb, I am back-to-back champ and just traded 103 and a 2023 second for the 102 and a 2023 third in the draft in Walker. Akash, I don't think you like that, do you?
No.
As insurance for Gibson and Dobbins.
Don't like it either.
Insurance? Like, wait, what's your insurance if you have 3 guys who are expected to be top 24 and I don't know. I don't get that.
It doesn't matter. I don't like it either. Even though I would draft Walker 102, I still don't like it because I see Walker, Wilson, London, and Burks very equivalent in value. So I'm not going to do this either.
So yeah, I mean, I think there's a big difference between 23 second and 23. Not like a mountain of difference, but
I really do see Walker, Wilson, London, and Burks as identical in value.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
I think there's a chance that Walker would just fall into 103 anyway.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, that's true. That could have happened. Yeah, I just think this was not necessary.
Half your drafts.
Also, like in Dynasty, JT Dobbins and Gibson is not bad. That's fine. Yeah, I don't.
Your insurance is just a bunch of cheap backups. So you don't need high drafted rookies.
I don't mind adding another running back that comes at value in a rookie draft. That's where I like to add running backs in a rookie draft. But I don't see the point in trading up for a player that's, whatever to me. So at the spot of value. So I just don't, I don't get it.
Jaden Sharp, 10-team Superflex, currently have 5 23 first and 2 24 first. Do you want to sacrifice any of those first for a championship or hold on to go in next year? Just question of strategy here.
This is
Jaden,
so
I'm going to give Jaden the boring answer of it. It really depends who you're trading. If you can trade 23 first for like Travis Kelce in tight end premium, then yeah, do that. If you're trading him for like 2 mid players, like 2 flex players, and probably don't do that. Like if you can get a real difference maker who can be top 5 at their position, do it because
I'm always willing to trade anything if it's the right deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say no, but I can't necessarily say yes either if I don't know what the deal is. So yeah, I would say be flexible really is my best advice.
Well, but I think that is.
I think we should be I don't feel like my answer is very helpful.
No, I think that is what he's looking for. I think the answer is like, yes, be willing to make a deal. Don't hang on to them like so tightly that you miss out on a championship this year. Flags fly forever. Don't make that mistake.
They do.
Yeah,
But
I'm
then-
just thinking like, who should you trade at 23 first?
I think this is a question for in season. I don't think this is really even something like, you know, but
That's true.
even in that, like, I wouldn't necessarily be looking to trade them for, you know, like there were people trading their first for Cordero Patterson last year. Don't do
Not
that.
doing that.
You know, like don't make that kind of a deal, or a first for Tom Brady in a super flex. Like, I get it, he's great, but like that's not the kind of deal I'm looking to make there either.
Yeah, do that deal in season. It's
Right.
tough. Or maybe at the beginning of the season, because there's a lot that can happen between now and the beginning of the season.
That's kind of why I don't want to do it now.
Right, but if you do it in season, then people start to devalue your picks. Well, if you trade someone else,
Not this year. Every other year, yes. Not this year. Not this year. People I actually disagree. I think this is the one year that every minute that moves. It's usually, you're right. Usually the picks are higher, and then in the season there's a little lull, and then in January they start to go back up. Not this year. Every
I'm just thinking,
minute.
like with his team, if he's set to compete, like his own 23 first is probably worth less in season.
Well,
than
that's a
but he has
separate.
money to pay.
That's a separate issue, but I more mean just generally picks.
Like random picks.
Generally,
Yeah.
they're devalued in season as people start to focus on redraft. They start to focus on win. Now that will not happen this year. It will not happen. People, as they start to see, I'm telling you, as they start to see the college football players play, the 2023 class is probably the most hyped class ever. I would say.
I guess this class sucks. That'd be hilarious.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will. I think it's going to change the entire dynasty landscape. I think it's going to be that type of class, you know, another 2017, where the whole dynasty landscape is essentially wiped out.
Every 3 years we get really good classes. What's the deal with that? Start stacking up on 26 first.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
There's
think
some great high
2020
school sophomores out there
2020
right
was
now.
really good. It
is. It's not like
gonna be
2017.
epic.
2017 is
2017 we got a lot of
so many running backs. And
But
running backs.
2020 we got multiple.
You forget that we always forget that Patrick Mahomes was in 2017.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson. And
Joel-
Trubisky. No.
Stopped in to give us a shout out. What's up, Joel?
Oh,
Appreciate
thank you.
that. Absolutely. Ja Webb letting us know about his wide receivers. I assume that's an earlier question. Ed, Taco Tuesday. That's right. Taco Tuesday is today. Waffle Wednesday. Don't forget about that. PJ chiming in. What's up, PJ? Haven't seen
I'm
you.
here today. I appreciate that.
Oh,
I can't
good.
speak
I
up
love
for
that.
myself, but I do appreciate that.
Yeah, PJ was trying to sell me on the idea that Cortland Sutton over Jalen Waddle was a thing that I should believe.
Not that one. Not
No
that
way.
one. Cortland Sutton, not for me. Not for me.
I used to be in on Cortland Sutton before everyone else was. Now it's the popular thing to do, and I don't want to be popular. God damn it.
Oh, I love being popular, but apparently it comes with a price.
Yeah, it's just like betting on Sutton was fine before, but now you're just getting hyped up a lot. And I feel like people are just like ignoring last year when you can't ignore last year, because there's a lot of same with Judy and same with Patrick. There's a lot of good receivers who produce with bad quarterbacks, and these guys, they didn't. So some of the blame you got to put on Sutton, you got to put on Judy, you got to put on Patrick.
How do we
I
feel about
think-
excuses, Tyler?
Well, the excuses, I mean, unless we found the point per excuse fantasy league, it won't help you. But the problem with Sutton is he averaged 4 PPR points in the games Judy played. 10 games, not 3, not 5, not 7, 10 games, 40
was
PPR points
upward.
total. 40 PPR points on 4 per game. I don't care how you slice it. That is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Judy was bad, but in that time, but he was not that bad. It was, I think he scored almost double Sutton's output over that period. So Sutton was essentially the worst he was the worst starting wide receiver in fantasy. The worst high snap receiver in all of fantasy over that time. So that cannot be a coincidence.
I don't know, man. Donovan Peoples-Jones was still running 80% routes.
Yeah, but DPJ, I think, got
Brandon
in the
Jefferson was
got in
still-
the end zone a couple of times. So I think he
Jefferson's still
pipped,
running routes out there somewhere.
pipped Sutton to the post there.
Hector with a 12-team Superflex PPR question. His team's young, is a contender. Oh, no, sorry. His team is young. A contender wants Metcalf for a late 2023 second, 24 first, and a second. It's a good offer, but if I accept, I likely won't compete until 2024.
That's not a good offer.
It's a terrible offer.
Don't
So-
sell Metcalf that short. Yeah. As for like
Once, okay, he has Metcalf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a terrible offer. Don't
Okay.
accept it.
That's not a good offer. No,
Yeah, it's a terrible offer.
I'm with you guys. Do not accept that. Trevon Bolger, do you think David Montgomery is worth a future first?
23, no. 24, maybe. 25, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
I guess
Future
I-
first is very vague.
I'm not paying a future first for him.
I will not.
He's-
I will not.
He's very
Montgomery.
acceptable.
Yeah.
He's acceptable. He's fine. He's good enough. But he's so people tell me he's good, but he's not.
That
He's
sounds like
not.
he's a step away from failure.
No, he's actually very competent. Unlike some people, he actually is very okay. He does he gets what's blocked for him. You can trust him. In the passing game, he's actually better than I think people expect.
Yeah.
But he's just okay.
Jacob
He's just
Henderson
okay.
calls them competent plotters, which I absolutely love.
I would say
Najee Harris is the pinnacle of competent plotters, and then you have James Conner, you have David Montgomery, and then you have a bunch of backups too. Like,
yeah, I would say Montgomery is the one of those that in a way that I trust the most, but he really just doesn't do much other than what he's given.
he fills the starting slot for fantasy. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay, sure, I guess. But
But he can handle a workload. That's one thing he can do. That's one thing he can do, and why his NFL team still values him is that you can give David Montgomery 20 carries a game. He can hold it. He can hold up to it.
I feel like David Montgomery is going to be a lot cheaper once he just leaves his team and like goes somewhere else. People discount him for leaving his team.
I gotta say, I am not betting on that.
He's like James Conner.
I think he will be staying with this team. I think that the Bears will give him an extension.
I think he could. I think he could leave. And, you know,
I think that the Bears like him better than the open market will. So I actually think
they
that
got they got a new scheme in there, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I just still think that it's very clear in the OTAs. It's not a committee. You know, Montgomery is the workhorse starter, and the new coaching staff seems to value him that way. I do see them. You know, I don't think he's going to hold out or anything. I mean, he is on the last year of a third-round pick deal. I could understand why he would want to hold out because they don't have anyone else, and he has maximum leverage over them. I mean, they need him badly. So if I were him, I might consider kind of raising a little bit of a stink. But either way, I do think that the extension gets done unless he gets hurt. I think he gets a good, decent extension. He's not that old. You can buy 26 and 27 if you're the Bears, and then you re-move on to a new running back. But I think he's good enough that I just don't see them letting him go. You probably can re-sign him for $7-8 million a year.
He averaged roughly 4 targets a game last season.
That's not bad.
He's good.
That's not
Does
bad.
he do that with Justin Fields next year?
That's why I'm not as high on him as some. That's why I have him for redraft. I actually have him maybe higher than you would think. I have him at 14. So maybe I'm not that low.
I'd have to see I'd see what splits are. But I don't think that QB I feel like it's a myth that rushing QBs throw to running backs less.
How is it a myth?
Some rushing QBs throw to them less, and some don't throw to them less.
Well, I mean,
Some
he scored
quarterbacks who
better
don't rush
without
throw to
Fields.
their running back less, and some quarterbacks who don't rush throw to their running back a lot.
Well, in this situation, he definitely was better without Fields in the lineup.
Yeah.
His
But
best
you'd have
fantasy
to see
performances were up without Fields.
what his role was with and without Fields, and so I don't know it off the top of my head. So if it is less, then
I'm pretty sure the splits say that he was not as effective with not efficiency wise, but in terms of his role in the passing game and also just running volume in general. I think there was less of everything,
makes sense.
which makes
They
sense.
ran less plays when they had Fields. So people might have
That
had
also makes sense.
Play. I don't know that off the top of my head, but a lot of people do good work with that.
Oh,
PJ
man.
with more of a statement than a question. Bill Belichick
well,
sucks
no,
at
it's a
drafting offensive
reference.
weapons.
I took a shot at Bill Belichick, the GM, which I thought was a very reasonable take. I mean, this is the same GM who paid Nelson Aguilar. He paid Hunter Henry, overpaid. He was fine, but $12.5 million a year, and I don't think so. Jonnu Smith, money was flushed down a toilet. You put someone never had didn't do anything in 4 years, nothing at all, and that person deserved $50 million, $12.5 million a year. So that another disaster. And then, we have N'Keal Harry, was not good. That was not a good pick. And now Tyquan Thornton, someone for me, I think he would have been better. Go to the 100-meter race at the Olympics. Go to the race. Go to that race and just pick someone. I think that would have been better. But they didn't do that. They decided to waste a second-round pick on someone who does not have second-round pick talent at all. Maybe if he had picked him in the 4th or the 5th, instead of wasting another pick on Bailey Zappi, another waste, that would have been better. But, they didn't do that. So I think it's fair criticism that Bill Belichick, the GM, has not been anything special over the last who knows how many years.
Since he drafted Brady.
But Bill Belichick, the head coach, is probably the best head coach of all time. And nothing about any of this has changed my opinion. He wouldn't be the first head coach who's actually good as a coach, but as a general manager, sucks. I mean, in some ways, you could put Pete Carroll until like the last couple of years in that group. Someone who never should have been given personnel control, but was actually decent as a head coach for quite a while.
It only took 41 minutes for the Sirens to make their first appearance there.
No, here they are. I literally live on one of the most popular streets in New York City. So I wish I could find a way to turn that off, but I don't know what to do other than mute my mic every 5 minutes, or I don't even know how you do that.
First time I heard it. So
yeah.
Robert Streeter wants to know, what the hell do we do with Nick Chubb? How to value a non-super flex? This is tough because I feel like he's one of the most untradeable assets out, like him, like Zeke. They're just players that I have a hard time, where I have them on my roster, I have a hard time getting any
Zeke
kind of
trade.
fair.
Zeke I can trade.
I can't move him at all.
Well, I'm just willing to take almost nothing, so I'm fine moving on from Zeke, but Chubb I'm not. Chubb is still good. Chubb is still good. Chubb is not washed.
A lot more value. I think that you get a good price for him, because he's a low ceiling player, because he doesn't catch passes. He's never been a receiver, and so I know some people I saw someone earlier today calling him high floor because he's an RB, a low RB1 when he plays, and that's true. But you never really have a high floor when you're a 26-year-old running back.
In redraft, I ranked Chubb as RB11 and PPR, which I think is exactly what we're talking about, right? I mean,
I feel like people are just when you have Nick Chubb, you're just settling for okay, which is a strange dichotomy between real life, because he's a good real life player, but for fantasy, he doesn't offer.
Oh, for a runner, I feel like
he's unbelievable.
Outside of Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, he might be next. He might be the next best runner.
Yeah, as a rushing talent, he might be the best, but
the best.
I think Taylor and Henry are the top two, but Chubb would be my third choice for a pure rushing talent.
For fantasy, just doesn't.
Unfortunately, you're right. For fantasy, it just doesn't translate. In Dynasty, I have him running back 12, but that even feels high to a degree. I don't really want him at that price, and I just kind of feel like. But he's not washed. He didn't even look like there was any decline at all. He still looked just as good last year as he ever did.
The clip will come eventually. I mean,
it will. He doesn't have the same number of miles as Zeke.
See the signs before, you might see the signs, but you're probably not going to see the signs. And then, if Chubb doesn't have unworldly rushing efficiency, he has nothing for fantasy football.
Yeah, but
that's what he does.
Chubb is career 5.3 yards a carry. That is
right. He's a good rusher.
That's insane. But that's absolutely insane. Career
7.1 in college. He's so good. God. I just pulled him up in the trade finder. Here's a couple of deals that went down.
All right.
Nick Chubb or Rashad Bateman?
Chubb.
Oh wow, really? I'm surprised to hear both y'all say.
Yeah, I like Bateman.
Much of a maybe. Bateman is a maybe. I mean, you could have someone who never is a wide receiver 2 in their career. I just can't. I can't do that.
Still has a pretty low floor. His rookie season wasn't amazing.
Bateman's ceiling is low and floor is low, so I don't know.
I think he has a good ceiling. It's just that the floor.
Good ceiling to me is top 5, and he doesn't have it.
Nick Chubb or Michael
Pittman. Really bad at knowing who has top 5 upside. Before this year, I don't think people would say people or Cup did.
Cup did it before. That's the only way.
Per game in 2019.
I mean, he was wide
He
receiver
was
4.
fourth in total points, but seventh in.
Sure, but it's always going to be that way. I mean, the
But
top
Debo,
guys are the ones who stay healthy.
Debo, and then
I think that one kind of came out of nowhere.
Was billed as a safe guy who was going to be like a high floor, low ceiling guy. Like we're so.
Well, I
we're
thought
so
Debo had a
naive
very
to
high
it.
ceiling after his rookie year.
Yeah,
I
after
just
his rookie year,
didn't
but
like him.
as a prospect.
Oh, I liked Debo after his rookie year.
Oh,
I mean,
Jefferson. That's the way he was billed, like as a high floor player.
I don't think I ever saw it that way.
I don't know. I'm just. That was my
That's not how I saw him. So I guess I just didn't.
The
it's hard for me to
community,
relate.
like, the way the community saw him was like, he's never going to be high up
true.
there, but he's high floor. But
That's
I
why
think
it's
it's
Not how I
high
saw
floor.
him. So, I'm not sure I was higher or lower, but I definitely didn't see him as a safe option.
Nick Chubb or Michael Pittman?
I'll still take Chubb. Again, with Pittman, it's kind of, I'm not sure that Pittman's ever going to make a difference for you.
Damn
I
it,
like
come
Pittman
on,
better
you
than
come
Bateman, though.
here, make me complain about Nick Chubb. Turn around, give me a bunch of deals, make me look like I love Chubb, bro. Like, what the hell?
But this is what we're saying, that Chubb isn't really going to get moved, right? I mean,
Chubb touches less on DLF Trade Finder than he does in T-Trade Cut, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, that's probably true.
Ridley Truther, yo guys, what's up, Ridley Truther? Appreciate you tuning in. Yo guys, rebuilding team, Burks or DJ Moore, or a 24 first, 23 third, or DJ Moore. Okay, a couple of different options there. What do we
More
think?
for both of them.
More for both of them.
Agreed. Jacob says, "Hey, the new guy's back."
It's me. I'm the new guy.
All right,
Yeah.
new guy.
Well, we're gonna have a bunch of
I
different.
don't know how to tell you, but you're done for.
Yeah, we have. I don't mind going back to the same guests if I like them. Hutch is going to be back next week, so
Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll go all the way up until his bedtime.
That's right.
wow, wow.
I'm just kidding. Love you, Hutch. Happy Waffle Wednesday. How are you guys ranking Garrett Wilson versus Elijah Moore? Who do you want the most?
Well, I'd prefer Wilson.
I'll take you.
I just think that Wilson's ceiling is higher. In redraft, I think I have more, maybe like a couple spots higher, just because in redraft you care the most about the beginning, and the beginning is probably going to favor the vet. So I have more at 30 and Wilson at 37, but I'm pretty sure I'm higher than consensus on both.
Yeah.
And
For
redraft.
rookies, I think you can maybe put an asterisk beside this, but redraft scoring really does dictate dynasty value a lot. So if Elijah scores more, I think he's valued higher next year.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing, though. I think
But
that
an asterisk next to the rookie because
I think
people
that-
hold rookies to different standards. Like not 800 yards as a rookie is better than 800 yards as a sophomore.
I think what matters is the end. What matters is not who scores. See, that's why I have more ranked higher for redraft, but I have Wilson higher for dynasty, because I think that by the end, Wilson is going to be better. And then if over the last 5 weeks, Wilson was better, who do you think I'm going to rank higher in 2023?
Yeah.
Well, because you know me, I'm going to value the end, because especially for a rookie, I'm going to value the end more because the rookie had a chance to, develop. And then the end is going to be more representative of the future than the beginning. But for redraft, especially, we care more about the beginning. You have lots of time to revitalize your team as the year goes on. I don't want to wait for Garrett Wilson to overtake Moore, which I do think will happen at some point in 2022. I just think it'll be on the later side. So for redraft, I'll prefer Moore. But for long-term dynasty, I would take Wilson.
Yeah, for I think it was Jack Miller who showed that rookies produce more as the season goes on.
Yeah, but we all know that. I mean, that's like,
It's good to see
That's
it quantified though.
yeah, but that's not something
You
I
have
need.
your
proven.
hypothesis and then you set out to prove it. And then
Yeah,
you
that's
get
not
it.
something I need like proven to me. To me, that's like,
But Wilson versus Elijah Moore, I tweeted this like a few weeks ago, how it's like a boat versus box. Like I think that there's this a similar tier of prospects. I think Elijah Moore might even be.
it doesn't have the
I
draft
would say he's
capital, though.
better. I would say he's similar because
It
Elijah
doesn't have
had
the first
better-
round draft capital. That's the thing.
Elijah had better production and Wilson had better draft capital.
Draft capital matters more to me,
Yeah,
anyway.
it does.
A lot more.
But Elijah Moore also had good draft capital.
Sure, but on the same, especially when it's two players on the same team, draft capital really matters to me. I'm not saying that that's always right. I mean, that can be wrong. It's been wrong in the past, but generally, I'm going to go with it.
but Elijah had a really good rookie season to the point where like Wilson, like as far as first round rookies go, that kind of rookie season would be good for Wilson. And so for Wilson, you're like really become what Elijah is now in terms of his production his rookie year.
I think if Elijah Moore had completed that rookie season, if it hadn't just been, it was 6 games. If it had been more of it, if he had completed, the 6 games had continued to the end, I think I might be more where you are, but it didn't continue to the end. So it's just 6 games. So for only 6 games, I think I'm still going to go with the guy who was picked in the top 10. I think very good prospect, by the way. Wilson was my wide receiver 1 pre-draft. So. Yeah. I do like him a lot, and he was picked top 10. So I think I'm still going to lean that way. And Moore is just not quite established enough. It's close. I mean, if he were a few more games, if I saw a little bit more, I would go that way. But
he had a calf injury at the end of the season.
There were injuries, but injuries are part of it. I mean,
yeah, I'm just saying that's why I was sure. But like he played 11 games, and his metrics were really good. Like yards will never help you.
I mean,
if you do like total yards, but like his target share was 21%, target rate was 25%.
Well,
he was good. He had 12 points per game.
Let's look at it this way.
Missing time at the end of the season when he was starting to heat up.
Let's look at it this way. And then maybe it'll put my opinion in a different light. He's on a team with a quarterback that we know nothing about who sucked as a rookie. He sucked. He's terrible. Zach Wilson was terrible.
Yeah.
They just drafted a first-round receiver. The first-round receiver was just drafted. Yet despite those things, I still rank Elijah Moore at wide receiver 21 in Dynasty. That means that I must really like him.
Yeah.
Right? If even all those things going against him, I still rank him at wide receiver 21. So I actually do really like him. I just like Garrett Wilson more.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's all.
DLF's ADP has Garrett Wilson going as the wide receiver 20 and Elijah Moore going as the wide receiver 24. So very close.
So I'm higher on both. I'm almost equally higher on both.
Zach Wilson kicking and screaming into the light.
Nico,
I do think that Zach Wilson is has to. I mean, but it doesn't.
You can be bad as a rookie and still be a successful quarterback because you're a good prospect.
Kittle 4 acres plus Alberto. What do you think?
How much is the premium? What's the premium here?
Let's just say 1.5
premium, and then non-tight end premium. I think acres.
Well, non-tight end premium, I'd rather have acres over Kittle. So
yeah, I think I'd take acres.
So, but if it's a premium,
if it's premium, I'll take Kittle. If it's not, I'll take acres.
Yeah, if it's a large premium, I think I would take Kittle. But it is close. It's close for me. In 1.75, it's about equal. 1.5 or less, I would take the acre side. 2 or more, I would take the Kittle side. If it's 1.75, I'd really have to think about it.
Yeah. When I first started playing Dynasty a couple years ago, I was all like, oh, you should always be looking for value, and that's by trading away your older players. But then right now, everyone keeps fading the good older players to the point where I'm like, damn it, now I'm team old guy.
I don't think I've become team old guy.
I have for some tight ends because all the good tight ends are old now, except Pitts, and he costs an arm and a leg. He just costs the arm.
I still have Hawkinson and Goddard, who I'm in on at their prices, so I'm not really team old guy.
Yeah, but they're like below the old guys in terms of production. I'm just really looking for that upside at tight end.
I don't have it ranked that way.
Yeah.
Dill, we talked a little bit about Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore. I think I don't know that you need to necessarily do anything here.
Yeah, I already said that I have both Wilson and Moore ranked above their ADP values, so I'm not necessarily really looking to trade them. So I don't know what you would do. I would just hang on to them.
In a tight end premium league, would you trade Hawkinson in a 23 first for Mark Andrews?
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
I don't want to, but yes. I don't want to, but yes.
Yeah, that's solid. Andrews so good.
I'm so conservative about trading 2023 first, but
yeah,
I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with it. I don't think I'd do it.
It's so hard for me to give up the 2023 first, but this is a more than fair. This offer is more than fair. Andrews is worth more.
I agree with that. I would definitely pay that to upgrade.
Yeah.
Jared
Only
Goodman
do it if you're a contender, though. If you're a strong contender. If you're not a strong contender, don't bother.
If you're in the Bijan sweepstakes, I don't think that's very valuable.
Yeah, if you're a strong contender, do it. If not, don't do it.
Jared joined the league as an expansion team, wants to rebuild. What should you try and trade Montgomery for? We talked a little bit about him already.
Okay.
We did not talk about trades involving.
Can you trade Montgomery for Elijah Moore straight up? How about that? Can you do that?
I think
I would do that. I would try that.
You can't. Depends how zero RB your league is.
Yeah, it depends. But that would be my first.
That's full of people.
Maybe Jameson Williams. You try that.
JMO.
Pittman, I think is pushing it. I
don't
think you're gonna get that.
Drake would be pushing it.
No, Drake, you're not gonna get it. London, you're not gonna get. I think Pittman is pushing it. I think that's the best case scenario.
Yeah.
Hurts in a 1 QB though. I mean, quarterbacks just don't really have a lot of value in a 1 QB. I mean,
I don't know how you're getting high demand for any quarterback in a 1 QB.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Yeah, you can trade him.
Maybe try to get a second and a third next year. That's probably your bet. That's probably the best you could try.
Honestly, in 1 QB, I don't even mind holding the bag on Hurts because the bag's considerably lighter.
Yeah, but if you're rebuilding, you want to eliminate. If you're going to lose anyway, you want those Hurts points, which are worth a lot this year and may not be in the future. You want those points off your team. So I would try to get that second and a third.
He does have a lot of upside though. Like he could be a top 5 quarterbacking value if he becomes good at throwing the ball.
Yeah, but if your team is bad,
I don't project him to be good at throwing the ball, but
I don't either.
Like Josh Allen.
Look, if he
Josh Allen, but anything's possible.
If he maintains leading his team to being top 5 in third down completion or 8 or whatever they were, and then top 8 in red zone percentage, then I don't care what his other stats are. He's gonna keep starting. Those are the things that would make a team better.
Could either be a top 5 superflex asset or not in the top 10 rounds by this time next year.
I don't think the community will ever value him that high. I think there is I think there is always going to be
I think people can get that.
I think if they go 13-4 and they win the Super Bowl and he's the quarterback 1 overall, I think then maybe Oh, really? Oh, I would.
You are putting too much faith in people who have already committed to hating him.
Then that's fine. I'll rank him there. Rank him there. The community doesn't have to, but I will.
If he said the community overthrows expectations, then he could be ranked there. A la Lamar, a la Josh Allen. People didn't think we're good, but then had really good seasons.
And remember that Dak was a 4th-round pick, and eventually Dak ended up in the top 5.
People liked him. Marquise Brown is another example of someone who's never going to be a top 10 asset. Marquise Brown will never, ever be a top 10 asset because people don't like him.
People did not always like Dak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't think that's they did not always like him. It took Dak years.
But he was a rookie. So.
Ben Leibowitz visiting family in New York this weekend from England. First time watching live. Let's get it. Love it.
Yeah. Love it.
12-team Superflex start 8 offered Higgins. He seems to be a popular name on Twitter right now.
I mean,
T. Higgins and a 23 first for Godwin, McLaurin, and Montgomery. Which side?
Higgins in the first.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Because you're not like trading him for pennies, but it's not like you're getting dollars for dollars. So it's not like you're giving up 1 good player for 3 good players. You have 2 good players. They're good players. So I take Higgins there.
I just like I'm not giving up to Higgins and a first to get this return. I'm just not.
No. Because you're giving up the 2 best assets in the deal, and not just the
Yeah, I would take Higgins.
Oh no! Best show ever, says TK. Ed, welcome into the show. Here we go. We already did this one. Hector loves the show. Look forward to you guys every Tuesday. Really appreciate your time and thoughts. That really does. I can't tell you how much that really does. I'm uncomfortable with like compliments like this. Like I'm like, not. But like, yeah, Tyler is less burdened by that. But I can't tell you how much it means. It really does mean a lot. Jacob says, conceptual question. Okay, here we go. Let's dive in. Went productive struggle year 1, entering year 2. What are some indicators of when to flip the switch to buy mode?
Buying what? Productive?
Run your team through a redraft power ranker.
Yeah.
Like from Fantasy Pros. Run it through that one. I mean, that's why I do that sometimes. I mean, I can look at it, I can eyeball it, but I'm not a redraft analyst. I'm a dynasty analyst. So, my redraft team evaluation is not my area of expertise. So sometimes I use that to kind of get a quick glance just to see kind of where I stack up amongst the league. So that would be something I would do. I mean, and if you don't have a Fantasy Pro subscription, then just do it yourself. I mean, stack yourself up against the team, use your ranks or whatever you want to do to kind of evaluate where you stand in the redraft pecking order. So that's what I would do. Some form of that.
Also for timeline, like I said earlier, you should probably wait. So you should wait till you have the maximum amount of information to start buying productive players, and that's in August and September.
Oh, I agree with that.
There's nothing wrong with hunting for value on productive players right now if you can get value on them, like trading a future first for Travis Kelce or something
something like that.
To take it, because Kelsey's going to be more in September when the person's focusing on their team.
Yeah, that's probably true.
FF Lefty in the house. What's up? Appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in here, FF Lefty. Always good to see you show up in the comments. Who is one player from every position that you feel could drastically improve their value come next?
It's a good question.
Off season. This is a great question.
It's a good question. I'm gonna start this one right now because I definitely want to do this one in the article. This is a great question. I actually really like this question. Just to give, I want to think about that one. Honestly.
So I'm gonna say Trevor Lawrence is gonna drastically improve his value. I think right now he's kind of going outside of
pretty high.
But he's like outside of the QB1 territory right now, and I think it's going to be higher.
Damn, community always making me recant my takes by agreeing with me.
Yeah, I would say Lawrence is a good one for running back.
Akers, ETN.
ETN is a good one.
I'd say ETN, but Akers not far behind, just because there's uncertainty with injury, and so if they can make that uncertainty go away, they're gonna rise.
Oh, another one I would say maybe at running back would be Brian Robinson, just because if he gets any work at all, I think that he might. If he's seen as any sort of a real challenge, because he was good in college, he was good. He's boring, but he was good. So he's someone he's ranked very low.
Good final year after not he left.
And you might have sell windows on guys like Zamir White. If Josh Jacobs actually leaves, not saying that I would keep him, but you might have a sell window on Zamir White. So that's another player kind of out there. At wide receiver, the rookies, but if you don't want rookies, maybe Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk to me is way too low.
Improve their dynasty value for trading, I don't know, but veterans will always give you value in points.
Yeah,
I know that's not exactly your question.
That's not what he's asking. Yeah, I do think Christian Kirk though is wildly undervalued.
Who?
I don't understand how he's so low. So he's someone.
Who?
Christian Kirk. People don't think that he can catch while holding all that money.
Yeah, apparently. I guess not. But he's someone. And then there's a few other wide receivers.
I continue to stand. Sorry, Tyler.
Who?
Myers.
Toby Myers.
Toby Myers. Okay.
Value. He's to me.
He just gets a bunch of targets, and so eventually, if the offense has efficiency in passing, then that would translate to more fantasy points. If you back in Cam Newton isn't going to be conducive to fantasy points. But
if you want,
he gets.
If you want a really deep name that I think could actually gain a decent amount of value, I don't know if this is actually going to happen, but I would keep an eye on Kyle Phillips on Tennessee. Just keep an eye on him.
So look forward to that.
For tight end, Jelani Woods.
Rookies, I don't know about year one rookies.
He doesn't have to do much to gain value. That's the thing, though.
That's true.
He does not have to do much.
He
just has to exist. He has to exist on the field, and he'll gain value.
Noah Fant, just because everyone loves him. People love him.
I think actually Noah Fant is going to lose more value.
It's not about just looking at upside. I would say DJ Moore for receiver too, because when you know the community loves a player, and you know that people love Noah Fant, he has some real truthers out there. It could
people love Noah Fant. Whenever I say that Noah Fant sucks, I usually just get people agreeing with me.
It's because you have a well curated audience.
I
Right.
Oh,
People who see your takes probably agree with you.
I will say that I definitely get a lot of agreement. Maybe
Yeah, makes sense.
Maybe
I mean,
I could
people
work.
who interact with your content are gonna be.
I could probably
they're
work
gonna
on.
be haters, or they're gonna be people who.
Well, I just block haters, so I guess I don't get that
the
many.
people that are after people who support your content.
I could work on taking criticism a little bit better, but I do often find that a lot of the criticism I receive goes to being personal right away. So I just block. I don't want to interact with. If someone's starting off my interaction with a personal attack, I don't really want to continue that interaction, to be honest. So that's why maybe I don't end up with a lot of debates or disagreement. I don't know.
JCast 12 team PPR, Brandon Ayuk for Dalton Schultz and Michael Carter. I'm going to assume non-tight end premium.
Yeah, probably not.
I would take IU.
Well, this is interesting though.
Yeah,
Trade a couple mid players for Ayuk. Like I know Schultz is relatively productive at tight end, but he's also not relatively productive because he's just a hair above the replacement players to the point
we
got some truthers. But
we talked about Schultz today. I believe I was in the middle or low on him. I have him at 7 for the year. In Dynasty, I have him a little bit lower. I have him at 9.
I have him in redraft, but I was talking to some people who are like Andrew Cooper and David Gutierrez, who like are better with tight ends than me, I think, because that's what they do a lot of. And they're just talking about how Schultz is a total zone killer and how he sucks against man. And one of them called him a slowly better Robert Tonyan, which I thought that was hilarious.
But I don't think Zach Ertz has much left either, and I still have him ranked at tight end 10. So
Ertz in redraft, yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so there comes a point. Tight end it's tough. I mean, there really aren't that many good players. So at some point you have to pick somebody. I mean, there's 12 teams in your fantasy league. Not everybody can have a top 5 tight end. So some people are going to have to struggle with the lower tier tight ends.
Get top 5 tight end. If not, I wouldn't sell for a Schultz because.
I would take Ayuk here.
Yeah, I would take Ayuk.
Yeah, I would take Ayuk.
More expensive than replacement tight ends while providing just barely above replacement production, and he could give you replacement production because one, he's not in Dallas long term yet. He's not. That's uncertainty right there. Where he's in a top passing offense that has a lot of volume and a lot of opportunities in the red zone, so that's helping his totals. And also, Dalton Schultz just hasn't proven himself much outside of the 1 year.
It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years where he was pretty good.
He was just inside the top 12 once, but
true. But he's
on a short-term deal on the franchise tag.
Franchise tag. Yeah, it's a franchise tag.
I don't know. He's perennially mid.
Dilcam, what should I do with Christian McCaffrey? That is a difficult question right now.
Hold him.
Sell him.
I think you have to hold. I honestly I just pulled the trade finder to find something. There's nothing.
I'm starting to buy CMC, not actively sending offers, but mentally, I'm buy CMC. Yeah, points.
There is stuff, but it's not stuff that I would like.
He gets a lot of points when he's healthy. I'm willing to bet on that.
I'll pass on him. I don't think I want him. I just feel that I would rather go another direction. I just don't know why I would risk it.
Yeah, it's risky, but it's worth it. In Dynasty, if he gets hurt, his value is gonna fall a lot. But there's literally no way to replace his production. I like pivoting when I can feel like I'm getting 80-90% of the production. There's just no way to get that with McCaffrey.
It's hard for me to imagine.
So, if I'm rebuilding, I'll sell him for a bunch for some picks or players who gain value like a young receiver. But outside of a complete rebuild, I feel like I'm just going to be holding.
It's hard for me to imagine having CMC because any team I've been working with for any extended period of time doesn't have CMC. So the only way I could interact with CMC is if someone signed up for my Patreon with a team now that already had CMC. Because I would not have CMC at this point.
So what would you try to sell McCaffrey for?
Well, let's say I was put in that situation. So That depends. I mean, I would put him on the block and see.
That decreases his value immediately.
Yeah, I know. But
What would you ask for? Like if I'm
what would I
going,
ask for?
you put him in the block and I say, okay,
Can I get? All right. How about this? Can I get maybe? I
Let's
don't
do
know.
negotiations right now.
Negotiation. All right. Can I get T Higgins in the 2023 first? Can I get that?
No.
No. I think I could in some leagues, but DK Metcalf in the 23 first, maybe that might be more likely. People don't like Metcalf.
No, you can't get it.
I'm not sure. I agree.
I found that those players are worth.
With what I've seen Metcalf sold for, I'm not sure that that's the case.
Because some people hit the panic button, but that's not what people buy Metcalf for. Like if I'm not, I wouldn't sell well Metcalf.
You never know.
Like Cal, pull up the trade.
I would try. I mean, what's the harm in trying?
With the trade finder, it's a whole lot of. He's a part of big package deals. There's not a lot of like individual deals, like just including, just him. It's like him and a bunch of other stuff. So like, the closest one here, like there's a McCaffrey and Rondale Moore back. This is a couple weeks ago now. McCaffrey and Rondale Moore for 103, 109, and a 23 third. You're taking McCaffrey, I think.
Just not good enough.
Yeah, it's not a good enough return. This one maybe, this one potentially McCaffrey for Dobbins, John Mechie, Rondale Moore. No, maybe that's not.
No, that's terrible. Actually, that's even worse.
See, look at how you've made. You've flipped Tyler. Now he's on my side.
No,
there's some difficult.
I just think I can do better. I just think I can do better. I would try harder. I would work harder.
Here we go. Ready? Clyde Edwards-Helaire now.
We're still on that, by the way. That was over an hour ago. Now we're finally getting to the comments about that.
12-team Superflex PPR rebuild. Swift for Travis Etienne plus Higgins plus. Or Swift plus Juju for Chase or JJ.
Interesting.
So,
I think
I'll take Chase if I can do that.
Etienne, Higgins, Juju for Chase, basically, or Chase / JJ.
And so he has Swift, and he can either get Etienne and Higgins or add Juju and get Chase or JJ. To me,
you're saying it's basically evaluating Higgins, Juju, and Etienne versus Chase or Jefferson, and I'll take Chase or Jefferson.
I would too.
Damian Pierce, any thoughts on?
I mean, he has.
I don't think we're talking about him in a year.
Michael Carter last year, Javian Hawkins last year. Off the top of my head, I can't. It's hard to remember a lot of these like day 3 rookie running backs who get hyped up to situation because they always fail. So I'm not that high on him, but I think I'm higher on him than consensus because I kind of liked him as a prospect beforehand. So I liked him. And I think that he has an opportunity to do well, and we'll see what happens.
In a 1 QB league, how valuable is 2023 first? Would you trade 2 first for AJ Brown, for example? PPR 16 teams. If one of them is in the 4 to 6 range and 10 to 12, we can't know that yet. But
we can't know that, but I would make that deal.
Yeah, 1 QB makes him most valuable, 16 team makes him most valuable, and so.
What is MML?
Mickey Mouse League.
Okay.
That's a league I'm in with Danny. We had the startup draft and Jonathan Taylor went 110 and TikToker called it a Mickey Mouse League. And so that's what our league name is now.
Nice. I like that. Juju is trash. Guys are living for more. So what it did there. Yeah. I'm encouraging the dad humor here from more people is what it seems like. Jaden Sharp, if you have Pitts and a non-tight end premium, would you be willing to move on from production now like Andrews? So if you have Pitts and Andrews, I guess, in this?
From production. I feel like he's meant like move on for production now. Like he's trying to get them more productive.
Well, I think Pitts is going to produce now, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like their production is probably going to be pretty similar.
I don't think people realize... how good Pitts was.
Yeah, I know. It's like everyone loves Kyle Pitts, but some people just don't realize how good he was.
Yeah. Anytime you post anything about him, like being, number 1 in ADP or whatever, you rank him first, you're like, oh, yeah. Maybe not this year. Maybe 2 years from now. No, it's not going to take 2 years.
The thing about Kyle Pitts, he's like the tight end. Like his rookie production is the tight end equivalent of Chase or Jefferson. Like that's how good he was as a rookie. And some people
Just had
don't.
one touchdown, and like you change that, and people think a lot differently about him.
Yeah, he was really good. Like 1,000 yards as a rookie tight end.
As a 20-year-old tight end.
That's right. He couldn't even buy alcohol.
I know until like October.
I know. He actually had 0 touchdowns as a 21-year-old. Maybe it was because of the alcohol. Damn.
How about Justin Ross? Are you guys starting to come around with all the hype videos coming out of Kansas City?
Not really. I mean, like he was good in college, and like there's reasons why he fell, but he also wasn't a world beater in college. Like he was good as a rookie, and then not as good.
I mean, he was good many years ago,
and then injured, and then wasn't as good last year with the foot injury off the top of my head. But yeah, he's an undrafted free agent, which immediately makes his chance to succeed a long shot. I mean, even if you want to put an asterisk besides it, you can't just write off the reasons why he fell. The injury concerns are still there. Like there's a very real chance.
I mean,
great, and he's just kept around as a developmental player to see if the injuries clear up. But yeah, I see people trading like future seconds for him. That's not
he was moved for Christian Kirk in the league. I was okay,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like him, he was fine when he was going in the 4th round, and then maybe late 3rd. But I don't know about early 3rd. Like even early 3rd is getting.
Yeah, I don't either.
For me, just because it's such a long shot.
Yeah, he's the kind of player that I think is such a low acquisition cost now, but if he has a sudden bump in value, you are looking to sell.
That was
immediately.
The bump in value came with the hype, and the hype's already happened.
I just don't think people are taking. Like, what are people realistically giving up? I'll have to go look. I don't think they're giving up.
What would you give for him?
Okay.
Future 3rd? I'd give future 3rd, I guess.
Future 3rd, sure.
That's not. It's like Ross isn't the kind of player you trade for 1-to-1 because the people will be like, "What are you up to? Why are you just trying to trade for this one guy using a 3rd?" There's the kind of deal that you already have a deal in place with the guy, and you're like, just throw in Justin Ross and call it a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
value is about a 3rd, and so that's fine. But once you get higher than that, you're getting really risky. Even the 3rd, I don't feel the best about.
I see in 2 trade addicts leagues he was traded for Christian Kirk. Interesting.
Oh, so Outhouse did it twice.
I
didn't know that.
Take the picks. Yeah, here we go. Zeke, Higbee, and 23 first for DJ Moore, and a 24 first. Which side?
DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Let's see. One pick of mid first, the other is late first. I prefer AJ Brown. Yes, going back to that question we had earlier. Let's keep going. Here we go. We had this one earlier. Nice. That's how long it's been. It's been an hour.
Sounds about
over an
right.
hour.
Yep.
Traded Najee and George Pickens for a lemur. No, this is I'm assuming Lamar Jackson. Huntley and a 23 fourth.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
Every time you can give up
Lamar
0
for
quarterbacks
sure.
and get a very, very good quarterback, that's good.
Pretty much would always.
I'm trying to trade Najee away right now and try to get I was trying to get Lance plus, but I'm not having success in that league.
Yeah, that's tough. Some Lance managers are just going to be really high.
Let's see. Here we go. G Money, Waller and a 2022 210 and 308 for Claypool and a 24 second.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Chase Claypool?
That's definitely Waller's side.
I don't feel great.
Yeah, I called him Midpool, and I keep calling him Midpool because it's such a funny name. Yeah, he's pretty
Midpool.
Yeah, he's pretty mid, honestly.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like maybe if he has a lot of touchdown luck, he can touchdown his way into the top 24. But don't think you're getting a very productive player. It's just selling him for like a Waller. I don't know if this is tight end premium. I like it even more in tight end premium, but I still like it in non-tight end premium. Who gives you top 5 production at his position is good because you're getting significantly more wins above replacement there, even if you're getting older. So that's good. I don't see Claypool ever being a super productive player or highly valued asset.
Yeah.
Even if you are getting older, it's not like you're giving up a lot to do it.
G money to Grant G. What's the concern level for George
Wow.
Brittle? We're killing it with these names today.
Come
Love it.
on.
Yeah.
Not concerned. Yeah, not concerned. I mean,
are we bored?
I think so.
That's
Yeah,
not good
I
it's
do
good
think
because
I
now
do
you're
think we
having
are
to-
bored. I will
We
say
are
I
bored.
do think we're bored.
I'm not concerned.
We have nothing better to talk about.
No, I'm not concerned though. Like this is it. Like he has
concerned
been.
do you want me to
brittle.
be,
That
though?
is true.
I mean, it's football, and these guys get football injuries. It's May.
I'm not that
He'll be
concerned.
all right.
I'm still not
If his
concerned.
leg's still there, I think he'll be all right.
Trade help, please. 12 team, 1 QB, tight end premium, PPR. Trade away 109 and Troutman and get Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, that's probably Jacob here.
Yeah. I guess.
Probably.
Just
What do you
I
think
don't-
of 109 there?
I don't want
Matt?
Jacobs after they didn't pick up the option, but yeah, no,
That's good.
I'll still go with Jacobs.
Yeah.
Troutman is nothing, obviously.
Let's see. 2 shows today for Tyler. Twice in one day. Look at that. More Tyler. More Tyler is better Tyler. I love that. Do you think Trey Lance is worth 2 firsts in
Appreciate
a
it.
super flex 14 man?
Yes, he is.
14 team? Yes.
Especially 14 team where quarterback's more valuable. than
Yeah,
15.
he's worth a lot more than that. A lot more than that.
Yes.
PJ is telling lies. I have always been the anti-Claypool person on this show. I have been
I
saying he's
appreciate
not
that.
good for a long time.
Right.
What are your thoughts on Rodgers moving forward? What sort of value should I shoot for on top of Rodgers to move Stafford? I'm assuming this is Aaron and not Amari.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, I've been pretty out on Aaron Rodgers. Like, we've heard me say it. But, I don't know. Like, what do you want me to say? He's 38. I understand that he was great last year, but he lost Devontae Adams. So, I don't know. I think that that's a pretty big downgrade. On top of Rodgers to move Stafford, I mean, he really shouldn't have to give much with Rodgers to move Stafford. I think that in ADP, if Rodgers, they're very close. Yeah, Stafford is a couple spots ahead. So you shouldn't have to give up much, even though I don't have them very close to each other. I have Stafford way ahead for the age.
Plus on top of Rodgers, without which case I'd ask for yeah, he's saying he's moving Stafford, getting Rodgers plus. Which I don't know about that. Like, what kind of?
I mean, we'll see.
In there to lose 5 years at the quarterback position. Production is probably pretty similar. Neither of them rush, so I'm not gonna like them.
A second.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Lance has a high ceiling and a pretty stable floor. I think he's actually a very high floor.
He has a high floor, yeah. I mean, that's what Ed is saying, though.
Oh yeah. I think even if he busts, like quote unquote busts, he's gonna be allowed to start for a while, like because of the investment they made. He's gonna be given lots of leash, lots of opportunity, and his rushing is going to allow. Like if nothing else, Kyle Shanahan is going to design runs that allow him to use his legs, and Kyle Shanahan's good at that. And I do not. I just think even if he is a quote unquote bust, he's going to score fantasy points for a while.
Yeah, pretty much. And the thing about
yeah.
rushing quarterbacks is they offer value to their NFL teams outside of passing. So that just gives more incentive for San Francisco to be creative with him and use him and not move on from him.
Eric Jr., aka Ask DLF Lyman, I love it. That is a great
I love
name.
that.
Trey Lance or Trevor Lawrence?
I guess I'll take
Lance.
Trevor Lawrence.
I'm going Lance. Pat McAfee's podcast said there's reports that Lance had a broken finger all season.
Ooh.
I never know how I feel about these reports about these mysterious injuries that we never heard anything about coming out later. But
Did you hear about it later? I feel like I heard something like small about it during the season. Maybe
I did, but like
maybe I'm just misremembering. I don't know.
yeah, it's possible I'm
There's a lot of
misremembering.
noise. Yeah. The thing about shows like that is that they have to make a lot of content in a time where not a lot of people are making. There's not a lot of content to be consumed. So what are they going to talk about? So they just talk about whatever they can, and if there's a report that Lance had a mysterious broken finger all season, they're just going to talk about it. It's probably noise.
Yeah.
I did see that. Is it NBC Sports Edge said Trey Lance's fingers in the best shape of his life or something?
Oh, I'm sure it is.
What's Godwin's value? If Brady, I mean, I think
That's
this
fun.
is baked
That's
into his
funny.
value.
That's funny.
This is baked into his value right now, right? I mean, like, I obviously have the ACL, but I think people are thinking about this when they're thinking about where to take him already.
I agree. Godwin, another one where the community just like stop agreeing with me because now I have to get to a point where I actually like him. So that's good. He's a really productive player. He's been productive for the last few seasons, and he's always been good on a.
He's always been productive, pretty much.
Right, yeah. So you have that third-year breakout, and he's been productive ever since. And it's like, yeah, fun times with Godwin, and then people are fading because Brady ACL. And I'm like, well, I'll just take the production, I guess. Boo-hoo. He's still 26, so
Absolutely. He's
like,
produced with back
his
quarterback.
value probably falls just because losing Brady, who's orchestrating one of the best offenses in football, can never help. But it's already pretty baked in. So the points that you get between now and when Brady decides to hang it up are probably worth the value decrease that you'll probably see. Just because players will always decrease in value when they get older outside of having a cup-like season.
I'm gonna try my best to like fast
Cup
forward.
like seasons are rare.
Quite rare.
As Bob says, what's up, Bob? Appreciate you tuning in. Jimmy G has been traded because of the injury. I think this. I mean, Shanahan confirmed that. It's true.
That's true.
Shanahan said that he wants to trade Jimmy. So, like,
Yeah. Which
any
didn't do
idea
any
that
favors.
he wants Jimmy to be his starter is obviously not correct.
Yeah, a lot of noise there. People just want stuff to talk about. Like, 49ers fans are so vocal about it.
People always want something to talk about, though.
The media is just like, okay, if I keep talking about it, I can keep getting more clicks. And so,
Still better than that 49ers reporter.
Oh yeah, that was. Are you talking about the one who got yelled at
Yeah.
by Kinlaw? That was
Yeah.
easy.
That was really bad.
That was bad.
That was really bad.
Mitchell, Juju, Gabe Davis, 203, or a 23 and 24 first.
Hell, am I reading that right? Yeah, just take multiple first-round picks for that.
Yes.
Yeah, 23
Big
first and 24 first.
This is like the dream trade because you're just converting a bunch of. They're not roster cloggers.
Yeah.
But they're not elite assets, and you're just trading for elite assets. And so, do it. Enjoy the rewards. Good. It's pretty good.
This is all the way at the beginning of the show when we must have spent like 15 minutes on that. I'm starting to think Tyler would
I
make
know.
that straight up. Yep. Let's see. JT and Godwin or Christian McCaffrey and Chubb? Definitely JT and Godwin, right?
Yeah, from a value side, yeah.
Yeah.
You take Godwin over Chubb.
Yeah.
Damn it.
14 team Superflex PPR starting a quick rebuild. What do I need to get from Mahomes or Kyler to move them?
Those are the players you build around.
Yeah,
That's what you
yeah.
build around.
Enjoy them.
Yeah.
You got
It's
both of
14
them
team
in a 14 team
Superflex.
Superflex.
Like,
I don't know how you're not competing.
yeah, I
When
don't
you're
know what.
absolutely
That
horrible.
is kind of weird. Yeah.
Those players will give you a base of like 50 points.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so if hypothetically
know.
you have literally no other good players on your team and you're starting like Kenny Wongwu and like Tyler Johnsons and stuff, hypothetically, and if you really need to sell them, get like 5 firsts of value for each.
Could you get, let's see, could you get like Trey Lance or Trevor Lawrence
And, like,
plus,
3 firsts.
yeah, something like that.
I don't know, you could try. Like, fuck it. Like, but those are, yeah, like Tyler for the kind of players.
Otherwise, I'm just not doing this.
Yeah,
Starting
probably
with-
not.
Yeah, like you're saying a quick rebuild, but you're looking to sell the two best players on your team.
This is who you look to acquire, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Not very helpful for me, but I'm just being nitpicky. Like you can hold those guys unless you get crazy value for them. I guess.
Brian Robinson or David Bell?
Bell.
Bell.
Ryan says,
Three for three.
if you're new here and don't follow these 3 guys, you should. Fantastic follows.
I would like that.
I would too.
navigating my first startup in a 12-team Superflex PPR half tight. I always love that like people are just coming in like new to Dynasty. Like this is so awesome to me. I love that people are finding it. Appreciate you tuning in, Jacob, because like you are just like you are going to be one step ahead of your league by doing stuff like this. Would you send DJ Moore, Brown, and 808 for Justin Jefferson, 1306, and a 23 third?
Yeah, I don't know which Brown you're talking about, Jacob.
I
AJ.
assume that's.
I assume AJ.
I'm pulling up his team because he texted it to me. It's Marquise.
Oh, really? Oh,
It's
inside
Marquise.
information.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's AJ, then it's that side. If it's Hollywood, then it's Jefferson.
Yeah, he has Mahomes, Higgins, DJ Moore, Marquise Brown, Lamar Jackson.
So it's Hollywood. So then, yeah, it's Jefferson.
Yep, it's Marquise.
I take Jefferson. Yeah,
I take Jefferson. Sorry, Jacob. Let you down.
Yeah, sorry.
Do any of us care about Mechie right now?
I mean, I care about him, but yeah, I mean, I'm fine moving him for a 23 second.
Me too. Yeah.
DK or Deontay in a fourth? Or sure, 24 first. Excuse me.
Deontay in a 24 first.
Deontay should honestly, like, I can make an argument for him above.
Yeah, I could make an argument, but
I think that'd be really close. But then the 24 first just pushes it way over. So I'll take Deontay plus and run.
Yep.
Deontay was expected fantasy points per game last year. Like he's so damn good.
Speaking of DK, who's going to start? Drew Lock or Gino?
Baker Mayfield.
Or
yeah, Baker.
Yeah.
But why would you trade Baker if you think Deshaun Watson could be suspended for half the season?
Well, we'll find out, won't we? I mean, we'll find out at some point, and then we'll see.
Baker Mayfield just being really like a petulant.
You think there's any way that Baker Mayfield and the Browns can like walk this back?
No,
I don't think so.
The relationship is beyond cooked. So,
I can't see Baker Mayfield getting along with Pete Carroll. I just can't see that.
I can see him getting along with the Browns.
Yeah, I think he's more likely to get along with Pete Carroll than he is with the Browns.
Yeah, like he's literally being like requesting a trade from Cleveland, wanting out, seeing how they're bringing in another quarterback. You think he's just gonna walk that back, play for half a season, just to get benched again for the guy they replaced him with before, and see that team probably do well because Watson's a good player? Like, no, he's not gonna do that. He's so prideful. So yeah, I think it could be Baker, it could be Gino, it could be Locke. It's probably all going to be pretty bad. I think Baker's the lesser of the three evils, metaphorically speaking. But
well, a lot lesser.
Is it like I've always felt like we give way too much credit to Pete Carroll for recognizing that Russell Wilson was better than Matt Flynn, or like I think that was obvious. Is he like? Does he have a situation like that right here where he just traded for someone and he's got the Geno Smith already on the roster? This is one of those things where I don't know that I'm confident he's going to make the right choice, even though a lot of people, like, just because he did that with Wilson, think that he's going to.
For who? For starting Locke or starting Geno?
I don't think he's going to make the right choice, whatever the right choice is. Like, I just don't think he's going to
make the wrong choice no matter what.
He starts as the worst one.
I could see that. I mean, I could see that.
They're both so bad, though. It's like, yeah. I mean, the starting quarterback for Seattle, I don't even care who it is, unless I'm rostering one of these guys and I get a margin of free game because they're starting a few games.
And then you can trade them, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, DK maybe probably the production is going to go down and he just gets a better quarterback next year. Because how can it be worse? Damn it! All this hype for DK Metcalf needs to become the next DJ Moore.
10-team Superflex trying to compete this year, but Champ has Brady and Russell Wilson. I have Dak, Lance, and Zach Wilson. Should I wait to see how Lance does or try to upgrade from Lance for a Murray or Lamar? No, don't upgrade.
Yeah, I would upgrade.
I mean, it depends on what it costs, right?
I would add a first to go to them.
Oh, well, I don't want to add a first to Lance for that.
But I don't think Brady and Russell Wilson are so scary if you've got Dak and Lance on your team.
Yeah, I don't see it as scary. It's more just
you have a good team.
I wouldn't pay. I don't know if I would pay a first with Lance for either of these. That seems a little rich. So I don't really want to do that.
No, those guys are a lot more proven. Like I like Lance.
I know.
I think he'll be a good quarterback, and I think he'll be productive. But those guys are infinitely
No,
more.
I understand.
I would pay that. I would pay a first to do it.
BJ Leak, how without looking it up, where does DJ Turner play? I'm not sure what sport DJ Turner plays. Like, you could tell me he's a hockey player. No, there's probably never been a hockey player named DJ. Let me think. Maybe he's a baseball player. I don't know. Who is DJ Turner? Are you looking it up?
I don't know who DJ Turner is. I'm sorry.
He's a wide receiver for the Raiders.
Yeah, I had no idea.
I would not have known that.
He's 25 years old, so he's either really old in college or he's been sitting there on their practice squad for a few years. I don't know.
BJ with the deep pull there. Interesting. Not who I would think about. Oh gosh, here we go. All right. Money Mooney, heard the nickname here first. That's too easy. We gotta get a better one than that.
I feel like I've heard that one before.
It's like A-Cash. That's not creative.
Jeremy Perlman, thoughts on Njoku after the extension? Does the extension for Njoku change your mind at all about acquiring him? I know you weren't very big on him, Tyler.
I mean, I did a short video on this on my channel. I would say that it hasn't really changed my thoughts that much. Maybe I'm a little bit more in than I was, but I mean, if he doesn't have Deshaun Watson, then he's not going to do anything. So if it's with Baker or someone else, it's going to be bad. So I'm still pretty out. I mean, even with Watson, I mean, he hasn't done anything in his career really. So
yeah,
it's just no productive history really to fall back on.
Yeah, one of those. I mean, it's not much change, but from going from a tight end you could throw a dart at who can maybe catch a few touchdowns to he'll do that, but then maybe there's a little more confidence that he's doing it in the same place with a good quarterback for a little longer. Yeah,
Sometimes
it's not very productive.
Sometimes you're just thankful that the fantasy gods open up a window for you to sell again on David Njoku. Elijah Moore or a 23 first and a third.
Man,
it's tough. It's hard. I'm gonna go with the first.
Yeah, I agree.
A year from now, whoever that first is probably ranks higher than Elijah Moore.
Probably, yeah. I hate it, but yeah.
Right. Open
You get a year
hey now.
Elijah in between, but that first is still gonna be more valuable. It's already more valuable right now. So
right.
In theory, new heights.
12-team Superflex Dynasty League. How would you rank Bateman, Mooney, Sky, Wilson, AJ Dillon, Cousins?
I assume that's Christian Watson.
Yeah, Christian Watson. So let's see. Probably have. I mean, I have Bateman first, then Dillon. Oh, Cousins is in there. Okay, so I actually have Cousins first. Yeah, Cousins first.
Cousins first.
Then Bateman. Then these all the guys are right next to each other. Then Dillon, Moore, Mooney, and Watson. But those last four are very close to each other.
Yeah, Cousins, then Sky, Bateman, Mooney, Dillon, Watson. Sky Bateman is tough for me, but I don't know. Bateman's rookie season just wasn't good enough for me to be like overly confident to the point where like Sky's also a really good prospect, and so they're both really good prospects. I'd have them like similar to your prospects, but then Bateman's rookie year wasn't good enough to put him ahead, whereas Sky gets that extra window of a little more forgiveness since he's only a rookie right now.
Let's try to go through a couple of quick ones here. We're at hour 40 almost now. Let's see. Jacob. No, hang on. Elijah Mitchell and Deontay Johnson for Olave and a 23 first.
Mitchell and Johnson, I guess, but
yeah, I'll take Deontay.
Yeah, brutal.
Oh, yeah.
1 PPE, point for excuse. Let's
Point
do it.
for excuse.
Akash, are you
You do look like you're trapped in a
somewhere?
basement.
Akash. Did I say Akash
Yeah.
again?
This is like a home office for.
I should get a home office. Then there won't be as many sirens.
Yeah, I'm back home in Atlanta right now. You know, college ended a few weeks ago, so I'm
Oh, nice.
chilling in Atlanta right now. It's good. It's good to be back home.
Stefan, his girlfriend, chimes in with a question every week and wants to know her favorite superhero. I'm going to say Wolverine. He's always been my favorite superhero.
Ooh, Super.
Wolverine is a good one.
There's a lot of categories.
That's true. I've always liked Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. I'd say Spider-Man's up there because he's like me. He's witty. He's also really powerful. But Superman.
Yeah, that's true.
Superman is like the most powerful, so that he gets cool points for that, and then Batman gets cool points for being a complete badass and like hiding in darkness. So no one really sees him coming, which makes for good scenes. And then also like Iron Man. Can't go wrong with Iron Man. I don't know. If I had to pick a favorite one, you know what? Actually a good one is Metro Man from Megamind. He's so powerful.
You know who else I love is Daredevil. I've always really liked Daredevil a lot. Love that story, and then the Punisher. I don't know. I have so many when I start thinking about them.
I know. There's so many. Superhero genre has exploded so much over the last like 15 years, where it's kind of oversaturated right now. But I just don't care because I'm 19 years old, so all I care about is action sequences, and superhero movies give me a lot of those.
I do like I like Marvel.
Yeah.
I don't watch
You're
too
the
many.
kind of guy who likes Marvel.
I don't watch much like DC, but like or
DC's
anything
not-
else.
never
But
doing
I
it
do
like Marvel.
like Marvel.
DC's not doing it like Marvel. Like they tried the DC extended universe, and it's not working.
I didn't even know there was a DC extended universe.
I mean, they had the Justice League movie, and it kind of fell flat because of
Never seen it.
And then they couldn't really expand from it because it fell flat. And so, what are you gonna do? Like the Aquaman movies were kind of mid, and Wonder Woman movie was kind of mid. It's like DC's not doing.
No.
What superhero does Wandale Robinson remind you of?
Ant-Man.
Oh gosh. Oh wow. You know what?
He packs a punch. He's great.
The hype videos I've seen of him, like I am kind of like, wow, he's like smaller than I thought. Like
He's so good though.
he is good. Like
Yeah.
I'd
have
love
him
to see
ranked.
someone like him succeed. I just don't know that I don't know that I think it's gonna happen.
I have him ranked ahead of Tony already.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Tony, like his prospect profile was pretty bad. And then he didn't do much of a rookie except have good yards per out run, which is solid, but it's like the only thing. Wandale's just checks a lot of boxes as a prospect. I'd take him over Tony. And yeah. I remember this quote from someone last year with Rondale, where it was, if he was 6'3", 215, he would be the best prospect since Calvin Johnson. And I kind of laughed at that.
Yeah,
So,
he's not though. That's the only thing.
6'3", he'd be the best prospect since Calvin Johnson. Take that, haters.
Is that really true?
No, it's not something I mean.
Aw.
It's satire. Come on, Tyler, it's a bit. Yeah, he's a good prospect.
You know, I wish I had. I mean, I will say I do have quite a few bits, but
The failure bit is always going to be a classic.
yeah, it's not the only one I have, but that's one of them for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, let's go. Any love for Tyler Davis, tight end, creating some buzz in camp?
No,
Never.
zero love. Sorry.
Who is that?
Elijah Mitchell, Deontay Johnson, 23 second for Olave, 24 first, and Jameis
Jamie's Winston.
That's always a tough one to correct.
Yeah. Take Deontay.
Deontay.
Yeah, Deontay.
Crazy for thinking Christian Watson will have a better start to his career than Sky Moore. Yes, because apparently Christian Watson cannot catch a football.
He's mid. It's
Yeah.
not crazy just because like
Not crazy.
you know nothing Jon Snow about these prospects, and
He was
there's a
too
lot of
tired.
uncertainty. But if I had to pick, I'd pick Sky Moore.
Moore is like when you look at
So would
his
I.
profile and what he did, I love Sky Moore. I just love him more and more all the time. I don't love all the talk about how like there's so many weapons in Kansas City, like you know
It's
the
really not.
receivers, the way Mahomes was talking about it, I didn't love that.
It's
I wanted
just-
him to like tell me how much he loves Sky Moore. That's what I
Kelsey's
wanted.
really good, and then Juju is either going to be solid or not solid. And then Sky Moore is either going to be good.
I would lean toward not solid, but
Yeah.
Would you
That's
in a
about
startup
Juju.
12 team? Would you trade 109 and 1004 for 203 and 603?
I wish I could do better than that.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Really
mad.
depends who's there. Like if you're doing
It does
it
really
before-
depend who's there. I mean, I
I'd
think
try to-
you can do better than that.
I'd hold just because like
Yeah.
once you get after 109, there's like quite a big tier break. Like
I think you
I'm
can do
looking
that.
at like I know I can probably get like Jefferson or something at 109. I think off the top of my head, but then I'm not getting anywhere close to that at 203. So no, that's the kind of deal where it's like it might not be available to you when you're on the clock at 109, but I would always wait till you have the maximum amount of information if you're not already on the clock. And like if you are on the clock, and then like say who's there, and maybe we can give you more info when we get to that question in an hour and a half. Welcome. We live to serve, guys.
What's your top 5 wide receivers in this year's draft? I think there's a clear top.
Wilson, London, Burks, Williams, Olave.
Yeah.
London, Burks. Who the hell's in this class? Hold on. I've been on vacation, y'all. Sorry.
Wilson.
That's funny.
Wilson, and then Williams, Olave, Sky Moore would probably be in contention
I
there.
keep guys like 3, but I won't because I respect ADP. So I'm gonna put Wilson at 3 because I respect ADP, and then Sky,
Oh, ADP.
and then I guess JMO because I continue to respect ADP. The thing about ADP is it's one of the best metrics we have to predict stuff. So, like, you should probably like people who are listening, don't look in the face of ADP and tell it you absolutely know better than it, because you probably don't. Sometimes you will, but you probably don't. Wisdom of the crowds is kind of a real thing. Because they have a lot more information than us. So some of it's bad information, but they do have a lot more information.
Nicholas can't find a trade partner to deal Waller on a rebuilding team. What about this when you got to
wait till he starts scoring points?
Yeah, I think with Waller, you can wait. He's not going to be that bad, and people need tight ends in season. You're going to be able to trade him.
Yeah. Like if someone's starting like a Noah Fant and they're trying to compete, like that's an easy sell to make. Be like, Noah Fant's not giving you anything, bro. Come get this guy who's top 5 and then get a pick on top of Noah Fant. Yeah, I guess that's the way to rebuild.
P to the R wants to take 106 in Devonta and get 103 and a 23 first.
Yeah.
What does he have to add?
I mean, I don't know, another second maybe. I would definitely prefer the 103 and 23 first side.
Me too. So if I was trading that for 106 and Devonta,
I think you have to add.
Yeah,
He doesn't have a second or third.
Like a couple seconds. I try to get greedy, but yeah, a couple seconds on top.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 second does it, but I don't know. I think you might have to go to 2 seconds to get it done.
Try 1.
He doesn't have any. Oh, he has 323 seconds, so maybe
yeah.
I guess.
Try one of those.
A couple of them. Throw in your not roster clutter, but like your flex plays, like who aren't like every week starters, but like like, oh, I've got these for bye weeks. Like I got Michael Gallup here, and sometimes I'll start him, and sometimes I won't. That's the kind of play you throw in instead of 23 seconds, or at least you try to.
Yeah.
Kevin, if you had Kamara on a win now team, how would you fade off of him if you think he will miss games this season?
That's gonna be hard to do.
I would just wait until I have more information, like to see how much.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
He could miss no time, but yeah, if I'm a win now team, I'm not gonna sell him because there's a very real chance that he misses no games and is a top 5 running back, and yeah, so that don't want to sell that short.
ETN at 105.
105.
Damn it. We don't have to fight. Ooh. I still love you, Tyler.
108 or Hawkinson.
I mean,
is it tight end premium?
If it's
let's say no.
Doesn't matter. I think I would take Hawkinson either way.
I'd take Hawkinson and tight end premium, I guess, because of value. But I think the 108.
I still like Hawkinson a lot. I would take Hawkinson.
I don't love him.
I'm still a pretty big fan, considering that the
price doesn't match the projection. Like I know he's young, but the price doesn't match that projection.
I understand that.
FF Lefty wants people to stop sending him trash running backs offers. He's not giving a second for Myles Gaskin, nor should he. Yeah, as PJ said here, greatest fantasy guy alive. He is obligated through a bet to say that often. Tyler, as a Giants fan, what's your thoughts on rookie Daniel Bellinger?
I mean, I would love it if he was good. I mean, the Giants have a massive hole at tight end. I mean, they only have Ricky Seals-Jones to replace the failure of an Ingram. So I don't know, but he's just a dart throw.
I think we should pay attention more to negative buzz than positive buzz right now. So this stuff is nice.
Everyone's getting positive buzz right now.
Yeah, everyone is in the best shape of their life. Everyone is this. Everyone is that.
I saw multiple tweets about one Romeo Dubs.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah, so many tweets about that one catch.
Here we go. Hollywood or a 24-person second on a rebuilding team.
If you're rebuilding, I just don't see why you would take Hollywood over these picks. It could be worth more later. So I would take the picks, I guess. I don't love it.
Yes, yeah.
I don't love it either.
I should take the picks for me, sadly.
Oh, so you hate Hollywood?
You're on to me.
Ooh,
I know when I've been had. You know,
busted.
My career is over.
Stafford and Higgins for Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yes.
Mark Andrews in a 23 first for Pitts.
Andrews in a 23 first.
Yeah. I love Pitts, but you
Me
take
too.
that. Marquise Brown. Oh, yeah. We already know. We talked a lot about Brown, and I don't think you two like Kadarius Toney at all.
I do not.
I like him enough that I don't have much of him, but he's all right. I don't know what his ADP is because it's definitely
too high. It's still too high.
Where is
it?
Like
97 overall. It's wide receiver. What? I looked at this recently.
It was his ADP in rookie pick value.
I don't know how to calculate that real quick. Wide receiver 51.
Yeah, 134 overall.
204. Yeah, I'd be fine paying that.
I don't want to pay it.
Because like I have my guys in the second, so like I take Bell and Wandale above him, but like
So would I.
other second rounders I'd take. It would be like Bell, Wandale, Tony, every other rookie second rounder. I should have thought above him. Yeah.
I would.
You shouldn't be going ahead of Christian Kirk. I'll tell you that.
Definitely not. I would definitely take Christian Kirk.
You should shoot for the upside, Tony.
I'm a big fan of. I guess I've learned that I'm a huge fan of Christian Kirk.
Kirk has a higher floor, but you should be looking for the ceiling there. That's the point we should. Really
I think Kirk has a high ceiling too.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong about
that. In 4
that.
years, he hasn't been producing.
I understand.
Paid, but, like Nelson Aguilar also got paid.
He was better last year than people think, but
he was pretty good last year. But
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Would you trade Tony for Robert Woods?
No. No, Robert Woods is done. 30 years old, ACL tear on Tennessee. I think I'm good.
No, he can be productive. He's been productive.
Yeah, I think he can be productive.
I'll pass.
Heard he's doing well in camp. That's cool. Yeah. Like camp,
everyone's doing well
with me. But like when a player has an injury, you should probably monitor it. And if he's looking all right in camp, and people who know more than me about this say he's looking good in camp, and yeah,
let's him be all right on the actual field though.
Yeah, they got a practice field out there. I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, let's see.
But yeah, he can give you up to 15 points per game, and that's fine buying points.
I'm not relying on that. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Will mid to late 23 second rounds be valuable? Yes.
Yes, but I
mean,
they
kind of are every year.
They kind of are every year. I don't know if it's like overly deep. I think it's maybe deep more in the early to mid second round. I think
very risky.
Yeah, I think you're just gonna have
hard
more.
To say when you're this far out.
Yeah, you're gonna have more players.
We don't know if any players are gonna fall from like being valued now to not being valued next year. We're not gonna know if players declare. So it's really hard to say.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Would you trade Deontay in a 24 first for Waddle?
No.
Hmm.
No.
Keep Deontay.
Keep Deontay, yeah, for sure.
Maybe. hurting a wide receiver and my running backs. Those are them. Who would you trade to acquire a couple solid wide receivers?
Addison is a solid wide receiver, depending on your platform.
Yeah, it depends on what you need. I mean, Mitchell, I guess, but I don't know what you're going to get in return for Mitchell. I mean, you could break Taylor down into multiple pieces. You might have to if you really have nothing else.
Yeah. If you really have nothing else a wide receiver, then it means probably time for a rebuild, which means
so break Taylor down then.
And Mitchell and Patterson.
Well, yeah, it depends though. It depends.
But if I was gonna,
it's hard. These types of questions are hard because it's just
Taylor for Chase and JJ. So
sure. I mean, that would be
value wise, and that's my basic ass advice I'd give you.
Yeah.
But Mitchell, I'd trying to a Sky Moore or something.
Who's your favorite post hype sleeper and why is it Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Addison, you dirty dog.
Probably Cam Akers.
CMC, Sanders, Rojo, and Chuba for JT.
Yes.
Absolutely.
JT easily.
Yeah, I sadly have to agree.
This is it's a kind of a vague question, Jordan.
Very vague, yeah.
Yeah.
A
running back after JJ and Chase.
Yeah, I would look if you're rebuilding, try for Waddle, Metcalf, or Higgins plus are usually what I'm saying.
Wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, one of those guys plus.
Trade for wide receivers.
In tight end premium.
You should be concerned about Kittle's injuries. We won't go back to that.
You can't tell me what to feel, Jaweb.
That's true. I haven't seen it. Honestly, I didn't look at the thumbnail, but I'll take your word for it.
I think it was Edwards-Helaire.
I love Addison. This show doesn't exist without Addison.
I'm going to skip over. Although I think Jaweb's question there is fascinating. I'm going to skip over that one.
You probably should skip over that one. I would skip that one if I were you.
It is that's a deep thought.
I could do a whole show on that question, but I think we'll have to skip it.
Yeah. Do you value wide receivers different?
I know you didn't ask me, but the way I keep myself humble is by looking at these 3 tweets I had last year where I compared Jalen Waddle to John Ross, Henry Ruggs, and Mecole Hardman. Just to keep myself humble, but it's all good.
I appreciate the compliment. I will say that this is probably not my strength. I will say that I create my own content, and I want the people to hear me. If you want another opinion, you can get one. Luckily, you have plenty of other content you can consume. I don't suggest that you only watch my show or that you only read my tweets or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, I probably live in the Tyler echo chamber to a high degree at this point, but I want to give you guys me, not someone else. So if you can get someone else elsewhere. So, yeah, I would say that maybe I struggle with this, but I'm probably not going to change.
Yeah. Jacob appreciates us putting this content together. We appreciate all the questions and everything that everybody's doing here. FF Lefty says DJ Turner is such a baseball name. It really is. It's definitely a baseball game.
It is. I thought it was a baseball player.
Terry McLaurin or Devonta Smith?
Oh, do I have to choose? I really don't like these players. Let's see. Who did I retire? I have Terry McLaurin ranked higher. So I'll take Terry McLaurin.
Yes. I agree.
What team did he play for?
I know he was on the Raiders at some point. I know he was on the Raiders at some point.
I'm going to say Savannah Bananas.
Yeah, he was on the Raiders. He actually is still on the Raiders. Apparently. Learn something new every day. Reminds me of Marcel Aitman. Marcel Aitman. I remember him. He was a sleeper I was in on back in the day. Whoopsie.
Blake, don't overpay.
Yeah, just don't overpay.
Yeah. You only have a finite amount of roster value. So.
Exactly.
Brees in a 23-1 or Najee?
Brees in a 23-1. Easily. It's not close.
Yep.
Is Rashad Bateman a sleeper?
I don't think he's a sleeper. I don't think he counts.
Based on his ADP.
Yeah, he's not a sleeper. I think Christian Kirk would be is the receiver I have ranked the highest, who I would in redraft that I would consider a sleeper. I think he's the first one I come to when I look at this list, and I would be like, okay, he's a sleeper. People are not really in on him. And I have him at 36. So I don't know where he is. And I think he's outside the top 40 in consensus ADP. So I guess he would be my first sleeper. But yeah, I have Rashad Bateman at 31, and I think I'm lower on him. than consensus.
Maybe
So.
he makes sense though, based on his production.
I mean, I guess you could call Adam Thielen a sleeper at this point, but I only have him at 35, so I think I'm below consensus on him.
Let's see. Difficult question. Rest of the team: Murray, Burrow, Chase, Bateman.
I'm a little lost here.
I don't
I'm a
remember
little
what the
lost.
original
Yeah, a
question
little
was.
lost on that one.
You probably asked the question.
It was probably a long time ago. Yeah.
Here.
Oh, okay. I don't see. You say that you're hurting at wide receiver. I'm lost here. You're hurting with Chase. You're not hurt. You have Chase, so it's not so bad. I wouldn't
And
worry
Bateman.
about it.
You have Swift.
Yeah.
You have Swift, JT, and Chase, and Murray, and Burrow.
Yeah, I don't see it as an
You're good.
issue.
You're doing great.
Yeah,
Don't tinker too much with this roster, Daniel. You're doing great.
true. I mean, your quarterback is strong. That always helps.
Let's see. BJ says thank you. Have a good night. Thank you,
I
BJ.
appreciate that, user.
Have we caught up? Whoa.
Jaweb, not an attack. Just ask. This is a great question that I do think smart people do ask themselves.
It is, and I care more about the purity of my content than anything else. So I want it to be purely me. So that it's an opinion, and you can get other opinions. So that's why I focus more on that. But I understand that other people do it differently.
With that, we're done. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. Akash, thank you so much for taking your time and coming here and hanging out with us and giving us your stats. You do an incredible job. Make sure that everybody here is following him, following Tyler, following me, and following at DL Football. We appreciate all of you. And